Now we go to the SNP spokesman, Deidre Brock.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The past 5 weeks have been an absolute nightmare for food exporting businesses. Fishing businesses are facing bankruptcy, dairies can't shift their cheeses, meat was sitting rotting in lorries stuck in customs, small businesses ended mail order deliveries to Northern Ireland. European truckers are refusing UK loads bound for Europe for fear they'll end up stuck in a lorry park in Kent. 40 years of building good customer bases in Europe have been swept away in 1 month by this government's incompetence. The government blamed the companies for not getting the paperwork right, said it was teething problems, or blamed the French, the Dutch, or any other big boy who might have done it and run away. Will the government accept that the fault and the blame lie with them, that it's because they made a bollocks of Brexit? And will they go back to the EU to seek a grace period and new negotiations on market access, even if that means accepting some regulatory alignment?
Secretary of State.
Madam Deputy Speaker, we will not accept regulatory alignment. This country voted to become an independent, self-governing country again, to make its own laws again. We were elected as a government on a clear manifesto commitment to deliver what people voted for in the referendum, and that is what we have done. And of course, there have been teething problems in these early stages as people familiarise themselves with new paperwork. It's not just businesses, it's also border control post inspectors in France and in the Netherlands. They're also on quite a steep learning curve. They are getting better. We are working with them to iron out difficulties. For instance, the French at one point had said everything needed to be in blue ink. They now accept that that's not correct and that's not what's required in law. So we're working, of course, to iron out these difficulties, working with authorities in France and the Netherlands and Ireland to try to improve these processes. And yes, of course, we would be willing to have a discussion with the European Commission about how we might modernise some of the forms that they have to make them more user-friendly.
Now we go to Thirsk and Moulton. To Kevin Hollinrake.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I didn't realise bollocks was parliamentary language, but obviously that's for you to decide. But
on the matter of unparliamentary language, the honourable gentleman is quite right to question the matter. The honourable lady uttered a phrase which, although I would not have allowed it had she directed it specifically at any individual member of this House, I didn't interrupt her in the way in which she used it in her question, but I do remind all honourable members that regardless of whether they are participating virtually or physically, they ought to be very careful never to use any language which could be considered offensive. We are honourable members in this place. We go now to Westmoreland, to Tim Farron.